Hey everybody and welcome back to another video. This is How to Invest. Spencer here, and this one is going to be an update video on QuantumScape. Now it has been a while since I've done a video on this one, but there has been a groundbreaking story that just came out on this stock just last week. So they just got a new partnership with a large automaker to test battery prototypes. If you guys do follow the channel, you guys know that Webull usually has better articles to report on individual stocks and just more abundance. And I saw on Webull that it was confirmed that it is a top 10 automaker by volume, which is something important to keep in mind that we'll get into later. Usually we start off with the market capitalization here, and it is currently just above $11 billion, which is very expensive for a pre-revenue company, and they won't forecast to make any revenue until 2024, which is when they predict that their batteries will be ready for the market, if not later. The stock price cooled off a bit today and is just under $27, but in the past week we have been on a tear. So we were hanging around the 20s, just under 21, and then it went all the way up to 27 within 3 days, which is a very sharp move upward, which we can kind of deduce because of their very high short percentage. So I think one of the main reasons why it did move up so abruptly and sharply is because the high short percentage, and once people saw that they got another huge deal with a large automaker, top 10 by volume, which is a very high total addressable market in the future, I think a lot of shorts just got scared out of the position and wanted to close. They said, well, to hell with it. I'm not shorting this company. I don't want to have unlimited losses. So I think this was definitely above 16 before last week and the news broke. The other thing that I wanted to point out on their stats is that their balance sheet is phenomenal for being a pre-revenue company. They don't make any money currently, like I said, and they won't until at least 2024, but they have at least enough cash on hand to last until the end of 2022, in my opinion, if not more, considering another huge company just invested into them, which, in my opinion, the biggest benefit of that and positive is in the short term, that they're able to withstand and just operate for a longer period of time, and they're able to throw in more money and capital into research and development to research, I guess, harder and for longer, which is obviously a good thing on a research-based company which doesn't have a product on the market yet. And because of this, they don't have a lot of the key stats that we like to typically look at. But if we look at the top 10 list for automakers, we can kind of use some deductive reasoning to see which companies that it really could be, because there are a couple that we can rule out. So obviously the first one can't be Volkswagen because they are already invested in QuantumScape. They were the first investor, and they are the largest automaker by volume. The second one, Toyota, is could be a possibility because they don't have any prior investments, to my knowledge, in solid-state battery technology. Renault is another one that it could be, and these three are all very, very high in volume. They're all above 10 million, which is a huge TAM, like I said earlier, for QuantumScape. If they're able to produce 20 million batteries, that just at very, very low margins is still a lot of money. The next one is General Motors, which is just under 9 million cars per year, and these are the companies that they own and produce. So this is also a play. Hyundai is the first one that we can rule out. Well, the second one that we can rule out, but the first one that is not invested into QuantumScape currently. So they are invested into a competitor QuantumScape called Solid State, or just Solid Power, and they're looking to do essentially the exact same thing as QuantumScape. And they also have another investor in Ford and BMW, which is actually not on the list, but they have three big name players in the automaking industry that are trying to rival QuantumScape and trying to race to the first solid-state battery. And in my opinion, this is a winner takes most, because once you produce the solid-state battery and that it is effective and better than the ones that are out on the market and charge faster and in every way just superior, I think that a lot of automakers were quickly switched to it because if not, a lot of consumers would almost feel, what is the point of getting a car without a solid state battery if I can't charge my car in maybe 10 minutes or however long it is compared to the hours that it is currently. So that is why I think this is such a big race and a big deal, because there's so much total addressable market, because I mean the winner can be in most cars on the road, and it's just whether they're able to produce that amount of batteries. But the next one is Honda, which is a possibility. So is Fiat Group, PSA, which is kind of a luxury European brand, and then the last one is Suzuki. So we ruled out 3 players. It could be a possibility of the 7 there, but I just wanted to point out that all of these are huge amounts of volume per vehicle, and on top of the 10 million already, and I think that will be more in the future as Volkswagen continues to grow as a company and they continue to produce more and more EVs, which will not only help boost obviously EV sales, but I think people will still purchase some of the nice older luxury ICE vehicles such as the Lamborghini and Porsche, just due to their kind of allure and their legacy. But the last thing that I did want to point out is just a quick look at the technical chart. If we pull up the full screen here, I don't want to get too technical on this one since it is very far out for them to be a company earning money. But if we zoom out, we are getting prices all the way from last September. So right off the SPAC, it jumped all the way. It looks to $18. Well, no, it looks like more there. I can't, yeah, I guess 18, but we're getting around prices from last September, which is just a phenomenal deal when we're getting a year discount, and they have made substantial strides in their solid state battery. They have started from 1 cell and have worked their way up. I think they're at 4 currently, and they're looking to scale up to, I think, 2 or 3 dozen. So just based off of that progress alone and being able to stack cells on top of one another and without losing vast amount of energy in the process is, I think, phenomenal for their progress. And I think that makes this a very intriguing speculative buy option, especially if since we zoomed all the way out, we can see that this stock has had good support in the 60s levels for a while after it cooled off from 120 because it had so much hype after the de-SPACing process. There were posts going around message boards saying that this stock could be worth over, I think it was like $764 in 10 years, which, yes, would be a good return, but that is over 10 years, and I think lots of things over 10 years, well, I think it would be over 1,000x or something like that, or 7,000. I think a lot of smaller more speculative names will do that. And it just had a lot of hype around it and euphoria. But it had a lot of support up here in the 60s based off fundamentals and good long-term holders. But it really got hit in May, we can see here in the sell-off, and has since recovered, or since yet to recover. And we are starting to only see a slight push based off of the good news. Since this company is pre-revenue, I haven't been buying too much on the good news. I've been buying more down here on the support that we've been getting and eating it up. I will continue to see if this stock has good support going up and continues to bounce off of the moving averages. If we can see here, we're above all of them. Then I might be more intrigued to buy more, but if not, I will be looking to buy more under the 25 level, as we saw for a couple months here, really all of summer. But if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching and have a great day.